Hello friends, this is Chandrakant from Akulmac Technologies. Welcome to Top Brass. And without further ado, let me welcome our guest for today, Mr. Nagesh Sood, who is a well-known human rights activist in India and also a practicing very senior advocate in Ahmedabad High Court. Nagesh, welcome to Top Brass.
Hi, Sitesh. Thank you very much. And it's indeed my pleasure to be back with another session with you.
Nagesh, for last couple of months, the entire world is under lockdown. People are finding new ways to work, and in such a situation, it is becoming important for people to know what are their various human rights. So today, I would like to ask your opinion about what are the human rights or right to health while you are under lockdown. So, what is your opinion about this?
Well, Chandrakant, see, we all know that World Health Organization, way back on 11th of March 2020, declared the outbreak of viral disease COVID-19 and had reached the level of a global pandemic. The governments had taken several steps because of the alarming levels of spread and severity, and they had taken some urgent and aggressive action to spread of this virus. And because of that, they, this has been chilling effect on the global economy as well. The governments and the executive have taken administrative actions in parts of the world by imposition of complete shutdown. And why? Because government felt that the movement of people is not essential because they wanted to reduce personal contact. So in all, we have seen that uh, the movement have been stopped. The local transport has been stopped. There have been shutting of schools, staggering working hours, strictly limiting movement out of homes, and also that there is prohibition of cross-border movement across states. So there has what we see is lockdowns, curfews, quarantines, travel bans have been imposed. So all over the world, the people are subjected to these kind of lockdowns to enforce quarantine or self quarantine by limiting their freedom of movement. So naturally, when there is a limitation in the movement, the human rights guaranteed to the people have been subjected to restrictions with these impositions. Now, what do we understand by human rights? I'll just briefly tell you about the human rights. We have a declaration which is Universal Declaration of Human Rights that contains civil, political, economic, social and cultural rights. In India, especially these human rights are contained in part 3 and part 4 of the Constitution of India. And very important right which I would like to address today during this ongoing pandemic is right to health. Now, international human rights law guarantees the right to highest attainable standard of health, physical as well as mental, under the International Covenant on Economic, Social and Cultural Rights. This right under the international covenant obligates governments to take steps to prevent threats to public health and to provide medical care to those who need it. So, uh, government at the same time have imposed the restrictions, but these restrictions have to firstly be justified that whether these restrictions have any legal basis, whether they are strictly necessary, whether there are scientific evidence, whether any action by the authorities, by the police is arbitrary, discriminatory, whether there is a fixed duration. You see, if your rights are restricted, whether it is for a fixed duration or it is endlessly imposed, or whether they are respectful to human dignity. Human dignity is what is important for everybody to live, uh, to live, and that is what is very important, that these restrictions have to undergo these tests. Now, if we talk of right to health, right to health is closely related to and dependent upon the realization of other human rights. That is, right to food. We need, for maintaining our health, we need food. So it depends on right to food, housing, work, education, human dignity, life, non-discrimination, equality, the prohibition against torture, privacy, access to information, and the freedom of association, assembly, and movement. Now, I have explained a couple of rights which are attached to right to health.
I have a question at this point, Nagesh. Uh,
Yes.
you know that while right to health is one of the fundamental right for everybody who is a citizen of India. So let's discuss about the India as a country. Um, so in this case, what was happening is that we have been hearing on the news that one chief minister said that I will give health services only to certain type of citizens and not the other types of citizens. And fortunately, that order was later modified. At the same time, when there were issues related to migrant workers, they were moving around without any health facilities. So, in such events, when the government of a particular state says, "Hey, I will not give you health services," what are the laws they are violating by saying that? And the second part two of my question is, what are the laws that migrant workers had when they are actually migrating on foot or by any other means to their states?
Yes. Chandrakant, you have asked me two questions. One is the imposition of restriction by the chief minister of a particular state to give medical facilities to any other person who does not belong to that particular state. Now, as we all know, that for an Indian citizen, he has a right to have movement and can settle down in any part of this country. There is no restriction on any citizen of India to move around and settle down in any part of this country. And therefore, people have right to movement, and people can come to a particular state or particular city, and for their livelihood and for their personal reasons, they can settle down in that state. So when a person has a right to settle down in anywhere, at any place in this country, he definitely must be provided with everything. Everything means right to health, which includes right to food, right to housing, right to uh, live with dignity, right to education, work, etc. So, any kind of restriction of not giving health facilities to a citizen of this country who has come and has a will to stay and choose his residence in this country definitely affects his right, fundamental right to life under Article 21 of the Constitution of India. So there are other rights which are attached, and therefore such kind of restrictions cannot be imposed, and they are absolutely illegal. The second question, what you mentioned about the migrant workers. Now, migrant workers, when there was an imposition of lockdown by which was announced by the Honorable Prime Minister on 24th of March, the imposition was a sudden stoppage of everything. There was a stoppage of transport, there was stoppage of uh, kind of movement. People were not allowed to move out of their homes. And therefore, while it was necessary for protecting the health and life of the citizen, such a lockdown, strict restrictions were imposed. Now, at that time, when such a restriction was imposed, there was all other activities which is uh, connected to the work of those migrant workers also was stopped. And therefore, when there was no work, mostly migrant workers have earned daily wages when they are employed in any industry or in hotels or in any kind of job they are doing. Most of them are paid on daily basis. And even otherwise, if they are paid on monthly basis, for a considerable time, the work was stopped because nobody was allowed to move. And therefore, under those circumstances, the way the work, the industry had to stop, and therefore there was no job. Secondly, for migrant workers, they are mostly staying on rented premises. They have been living in rented premises for which they have to regularly pay their rents to the landlords. And when the money was not coming, the landlords, in anticipation somewhere, sometime, or otherwise when they were not able to pay their rent, asked them to vacate the premises. Now, it was well within the right of the landlords also, because there is a clause uh, which is introduced in contracts like force majeure. Force majeure is whenever something natural calamity comes, then a certain part of the contract, uh, it becomes not an obligation for the parties of the contract to follow that. But here, when the sudden lockdown came, uh, that force majeure cannot be imposed or cannot be activated in favor of the landlord or the tenant. So that was the situation which constrained migrants to move out of their house. And when there was no
Okay, sorry to interrupt. My question was related to right to health. Say, for example, whatever happens with migrant workers, they lose their job, they don't get the money, they don't have money to feed themselves, or even travel, or to stay. So, in such a situation, when the Pandemic Act is applicable, it is whose responsibility to take care of the migrant workers, especially when they are working in upliftment of the economy in that particular state. Why they were left on the street without any food, shelter, and health services?
yes. See, what is essential here to understand is it is always the government's responsibility to look after the rights of the citizens of a particular state or the country. Now, it was the responsibility of the government when the lockdown was introduced that certain rights of these migrant workers or any citizen, so to say, their rights have to be protected. Now, uh, whatever happened at that particular time, there was no arrangement, there was no facility, there was no connection of the government with those people. And although government tried to help them financially by putting some money into their accounts or providing some facilities, but since this happened in a large scale, there were so many migrant workers and there were no facilities and infrastructure available. The government could not reach out to people to give the help or protect their rights, what are enshrined in the Constitution. So it was basically the management failure which constrained the government to reach out to the citizen and protect their rights.
So in such a
And
situation,
therefore, yes,
in such a situation, when the lawmakers of certain states, because all these news of migrant labor issue was coming from not everywhere, but it is coming from few states. So when the lawmaker in the states are violating the law and not providing basic fundamental rights to their citizens, to Indian citizens, how this should be treated from a legal standpoint? What is your opinion?
definitely, whenever there is a violation of rights, there are courts to protect your rights. The courts are the ultimate protectors of your rights. And whenever there is a violation by the government, the citizens can very well approach the Supreme Court or the High Court whenever there is a legal violation of their fundamental rights under Article 32 and under Article 226 of the Constitution of India. There is a provision of writ where as any citizen of this country can approach the court and ask the court to protect their rights, which includes human rights, fundamental rights, we call it in Indian perspective. And that is how a lot of citizens and a lot of people, NGOs approached the Honorable Apex Court when there was a lot of migration of these workers. And the Supreme Court, after getting the reports from the government, because you understand one thing that even the Supreme Court was shut down. There was so much of difficulty to understand what was happening around us. And yet the Honorable Supreme Court was moved and the government was instructed to look after the welfare of the migrant citizens, and gradually the support from the government has been given to the citizens who are migrant. It was gradual because suddenly a lot of things happened at a time, and therefore, as I said, because of lack of infrastructure, lack of a lot of things, the health could not reach the citizen as fast as it was required to have been reached.
So in such a situation, the citizens rely on the government of because we in India have a federal system. So if somebody is in some other state and he belongs to some other state, he would assume that I would have the same rights as I was having in my own state. So if we travel on work or some deputation, and suddenly the state government says that, hey, I will not treat you. I think that gives a very bad impact on the citizens of India. And, the government themselves are announcing such things like, hey, I will not treat you because you are from a different state. And similarly, migrant workers who have been working and they are actually contributing to the baseline economy. And now everybody knows that if the migrant workers are not there, the baseline will not be there. And if baseline is not there, nothing will work. So now, the government should have thought about the importance of 30 million migrant workers in India, and they should have done proper arrangement for that. Uh, and being a federal country, the responsibility lies more on the local governments because they are on the ground and they have the infrastructure. So what went wrong in this, Nagesh? How we should treat it? Like you said, Honorable Supreme Court was also moved, but by the time there were few, bad news that we had to hear by the time the Supreme Court intervened. But in such a situation, how the lawmaker do not know or lack of knowledge why they acted like this, like a layman, I'm saying.
Well, Chandrakant, I kind of, agree with your sentiments about how the governments failed actually in providing and protecting the rights of the citizens, more particularly of migrant workers who contribute to the economy. Now, first of all, I would like to uh, convey that when the lockdown occurred on 24th of March, it was such a sudden thing to have been announced, and at that particular time, what facilities were available with the government was not as much as we ought to have had with the government in order to see so much of pandemic, the effect of pandemic which could have gone or which could have affected the people of India. Now, if you understand one thing, that the lockdown was ordered in March, and in very initial stages, the pandemic could have been controlled, could be controlled, because at that point of time, everybody was restricted to their homes, the industry was shut, everything was shut. Now, at that time, the effect of that pandemic was so low, and therefore, the government, despite not having the infrastructure facility, started working towards it, because there were no beds in the hospital. There were different facilities available. It was very costly affair to have, get yourself treated in a private hospital. Then there was lack of facility in the government hospital. So I think the effect and the lockdown was so sudden that everybody was kind of surprised and were not aware of what was happening. And to move the government machinery, as you know, is a bit difficult. Though we have a disaster management committee, though we have a force which is available to us, but we definitely lacked warriors like doctors coming forward, cleanliness staff, and other people who were to be put at place so that the facilities could have been provided. So that took, I think, a lot of time. And now, when the lockdown have started being lifted by the government, we see that quite a few arrangements have been made for protecting the health of the citizens, providing basic facilities like food and basic amenities to the citizen, and also uh, now there are jobs which are being provided by the government and the private sectors which are being made available to the people. It has to have a gradual thing, but I think it has made everybody now aware that one should be prepared with these kind of situations, so that the way we have suffered all along during this backdown should not happen again.
Uh, yes, Nagesh, I think you're also talking about certain learnings, and this is a very huge subject. And so one thing is very clear and very sure, that the Indian Constitution gave the right to health to every citizen of India, and nobody can take away that right. So thank you very much for bringing that point up, and it was a pleasure talking to you, Nagesh. We will catch up again tomorrow, and we will discuss one other human right uh, which is available to citizens of India.
Thank you very much, CK. It was a pleasure being with you. Thanks a lot. Have a good day.
See you tomorrow, Nagesh.
Bye-bye. Take care.